Maya, this is the most stunning painting. What is it depicting?
Well, while it might not be very obvious to us today, to the contemporary viewer, this painting would have had many layers of meaning. One of the first clues is in the upper left corner in the inscription, which translates to, "I am the nymph of the sacred spring, do not disturb my sleep, I'm resting." There are so many different layers of meaning that he integrated, such as the partridges, the bow and arrows, the deer in the background. All of these symbols call to mind the goddess Diana, but this very seductive pose is in contradiction with the innocence that you would think of the nymph and Diana. And this is something very much associated with Venus. This ambivalence of the subject reminds us of the transitory nature of pleasure and to warn us against lustfulness, to remind us that there is both pain and sadness with pleasure.
Tell me about the artist, Lucas Cranach.
Well, Lucas Cranach the Elder was one of the greatest painters and printmakers of the German Renaissance. And by this point, he's very much in his artistic maturity. So this has been dated to around 1540, 1545. Cranach returned to the subject around 12 times. And this is the largest representation of this subject, where his ideas have very much come to fruition in everything that you see here.
And what can we say about his technique then? What is it that makes him such an extraordinary painter?
Well, we've done infrared imaging of this painting, and what we found is a very delicate, fluid underdrawing that creates a motion and a swiftness in the figure. And what I love is the little details in talking about his technique. This beautiful gauze-like, almost vaporous gauze that goes around her body and her limbs, and the small, tiny details that you simply don't see without getting close to the painting.
The gauze is absolutely stunning, and again it gives that sort of, I suppose, divine aspect to her. She's not just a naked body. And the fact you can actually see, individual veins in the arms. This is really extraordinary. And it looks in immaculate condition. Do we know where it's been all these years?
The provenance remained a complete mystery. It had been clearly hidden from public view for hundreds of years, and many months of research, we discovered that it had been in one of the greatest Swedish art collections of the 18th century, and it moved through the family right into the late 20th century, which very much accounts for the beautiful state of preservation.
That's incredible, because, this is probably Cranach at his finest. He's refined all his skills over decades and then blown it up large to make this stunning piece, and yet it wasn't known about.
Very much you feel the pride in the work, and that he has put all of his efforts on the subject into such a large, beautifully preserved panel.